Hello, my friends, and welcome back to week 4 of Sabbath School Nuggets. Thank you, Pastor Bob, for taking us through last week's lesson, The Lord Reigns, where we focused on God's sovereignty in the Psalms. But this week, we focus on a God who is much more personal and who hears and delivers us individually, personally. A father and a young daughter were walking back from daycare when she said to him out of the blue, "Daddy, I finally found a good question to ask my teacher." The father could hardly contain his enthusiasm because he knew his daughter was very smart. "Well, what is it?" he asked. She said, "Before we were here, in this body, where were we? Before being who we are, what were we?" The father said, "What did your teacher say?" "Nothing," replied the little girl. "She just stood there staring at me with her mouth open." The father praised his daughter for asking such a great question, but didn't answer right away. The little girl was impatient. "And where were we?" she finally blurted. Her father went down on his knees and lovingly asked her if she believed in God. "Yes," she replied. "And there's your answer," said her father. "Before creating you, God had to think about you. He probably said, I'm going to make a little girl like this and like that, with this hair, with these eyes, and with this smile." So before you were here, you were in the mind of God, because no one creates something without thinking about it first. That little girl was fascinated with her father's answer and walked the rest of the way in silence, deep in thought. We have all been in God's thoughts at some point before our existence, and God knows each of us in the most intimate way we could possibly imagine. Psalms 139 is probably the most intimate of the Psalms. Just listen to this. Verse 13. "You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. It is amazing to think about. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it." Verse 15, "You were there while I was being formed in utter seclusion. You saw me before I was born and scheduled each day of my life before I began to breathe. Every day was recorded in your book. How precious it is, Lord, to realize that you are thinking about me constantly. I can't even count how many times a day your thoughts turn toward me. And when I waken in the morning, you are still thinking of me." Do you want to know God as intimately as He knows you? That's our nugget for today.